That was the door. I have a kitchen. I have a finished kitchen to show you guys, finally. I am so excited to be done. Of all the spaces in this little tiny house, the kitchen was the hardest by far. Mostly because it was so many materials to come together in one tiny little space that also had to jive with the entire rest of the trailer that you can see from the front and the back. So really, when you're designing a tiny space, all the little components need to flow together and not have anything kind of broken up with different textures and materials, and you kind of want to copy the same theme throughout. So yeah, first of all, this is a 1977 Airstream Sovereign. It is 31 feet long. It has been completely gutted all the way down to the steel ribs. Underneath the skin, this is called skin. It has a completely new electrical system, plumbing system, basically everything. The only thing we really kept was the windows and the shell and the ribs and the frame and the skin. The skin is also original with some patching. This entire strip down the top is a new piece of aluminum. So if you look really close, you can see kind of textured aluminum and smooth aluminum. I don't really care. It's an old Airstream. It adds character, I think. I wanted a big focal point in the kitchen because as soon as you walk in, the front door is right there. So as soon as you walk in, the first thing you really see is the kitchen. So I knew I wanted a big, nice focal point, which was this door. And believe it or not, this door was made with 1/4 inch thick birch plywood, and the face of it cost a whopping $26. Yeah, it's amazing what you can do with just a sheet of wood. This was all cut, and I think this is 3.5 inch planks and glued with Gorilla Wood glue and stained. Our countertops are custom made, but they were also very cheap. We actually bought 3/4 inch sheets of maple plywood, which is a fancier plywood. It just has a really thin veneer piece of real maple on top. You can't really stain maple ply anything but natural, that I found anyway. As soon as you get too much pigment on it, it kind of covers up the grain. It doesn't soak in like a piece of solid wood, so that's one thing to learn and consider. I meant to stain these darker wood color, but actually, in hindsight, I'm glad this happened because I like this lighter color so much better. This sink is a granite composite. And it was very hard to find a sink that wasn't the size of a bathtub. This is a 22 inch, I believe, wide sink. Nice and deep, even able to give the dog a bath in it. This faucet is starting to tarnish, I see right now. But this was from Amazon. I'm not sure I'm going to recommend this now that I see it's tarnishing. The backsplash. We get a lot of questions about this backsplash. And yes, it is real ceramic tile, but we had to do a lot of prep work to ensure this didn't pop off or crack. And so far so good. It's been a fair amount of miles, and it's all sticking and nothing's cracked or anything. We did not adhere this straight to the skin. We put a strip of aluminum riveted to the skin the size of the tile, and then tiled over that with a flexible thin set, and then also a flexible grout. And originally I had grouted this, what color was it? I don't know, some kind of buff tan color. I don't know why I did this. That I did not like because this tile is way too small, way too busy. So I did not know this, but you can actually, I knew you could dye tile darker, but you can actually bleach it too. So I used a product, I'll link that too, and just went over it and turned it all white, and it kind of blends in, and it's much nicer to look at now. I did not put in overhead cabinets. I don't know if I regret that now. I don't think I do. I do like how open it is, but you do lose a lot of storage space. And it's, you know, those little things that you just want to grab, like cups and spices or what have you. So I ended up putting in these shelves, which I do like. I have 3 of them. This one's the deepest. These are 2 little thin ones. I didn't want stuff to be, you know, bumping when we're violently washing dishes or violently cooking. So I ended up finding these brackets on Etsy. They're hand-forged iron brackets. They're really nice, and they're actually really cheap. You can have them even custom made to a certain size. So these are really shallow 3-inch shelves, and I had the guys up here at the shop make me a welded little bar on the bottom, which I can clip stuff to and hang more things, useful things, like a bottle opener and a hand towel, and of course my vintage photographs. Actually, this picture of Johnny Cash, we found that in the first Airstream when we demoed it, so it's kind of a cool thing to keep around. And then on this side I have my measuring spoons, a trivet, my little pot holders, and then I have all my little plants and my little vintage thermometer, salt and pepper shakers. And some of the stuff is actually adhered here permanently, like this photo. It is anchored to the wall, but it's made to look like it's leaning on the shelf. Same thing with this mirror. I didn't want things that I have to take down. I know there's several things I have to take down in here, but I want it to be as minimal as possible to leave as many things on the shelf as I can. The lighting. The lighting was very important to me. I am very picky about lighting. I don't necessarily like the puck lighting that traditionally goes down the center of the Airstream. I think it gives it too much light. I know you can dim those, but I don't know, something about that overhead lighting I just don't like. So I wanted kind of moodier, romantic lighting in the kitchen. So I went with these from Lucent Light Shop. They have the best selection of 12-volt RV lighting ever. This is the Vortis sconce. It is dusty. And 24 inches in their matte brass, I think they call that color. So I have one on each side. This one's perfectly centered over the window, and this one is perfectly centered opposite of the window. And they just have a little on-off switch here. They have 2 dimming levels. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. I did take their bulbs and I painted them in a matte kind of mosaic glass spray, which kind of took the edge off of that harsh lighting since it's a raw bulb. So the lighting's very nice now. I like it. Roller shades. These are from Tilt Smart Home. You can get these automated if you're super fancy. Mine are just the regular crank up. I gotta do it with my hand. But I love these because they have a chain, and that means they're not tension driven, meaning you don't have to pull it just the right angle. Anyone that's put tension shades in an Airstream probably knows what I'm talking about with that angle that they sit on and mount on. You gotta just pull it just right. Burping. So, love those. This is the woven natural color. I'll link all this stuff too, so you guys can just be like, stop talking, I just want the link. Which is okay. Oh, another big thing. Wallpaper, wallpaper, wallpaper. I love wallpaper. It's especially good if you have a vintage Airstream and you have those really gross pressboard walls where you really can't paint because they'll just scrape right off. Wallpaper them. This stuff is from Spoonflower. You can pretty much get any pattern, any color under the sun. And this is a peel and stick. Yes. It is textured too, so it's kind of canvasy looking. It's got a really nice look to it. And I put these walls up in probably less than an hour. It's very easy to do. Very foolproof. And I always get a lot of questions. Does it peel up in extreme temperature or humidity? No. It's been in everything you can imagine. It's been up to 100 degrees down to teens. And here in Georgia, the humidity is always 100%, so no problem. Okay, the cabinets, they're all custom made too. They are made of MDF and they're just painted, and I had these little notches cut out. I didn't really want hardware on them because I don't want anything in here you're going to be bumping into. It's very frustrating. Very frustrating to bump into stuff when you're already in a small space. You don't want to amplify it. So I love the no hardware look. These are painted with Benjamin Moore cabinet paint. And I'll link that too. I can't think of the exact name of it right now. And the color is from Bear, and it's black mocha. So it's a really nice dark, almost black color, but it has a tinge of brown in it, so it's kind of warm. Love this color. Love it, love it. Highly recommend. The stove. Any of you who have watched my stories have heard me complain about my stove. Hey, it works great, but it looks like it's from Play School because it has plastic knobs. Why would you put stainless steel for a handle and then put plastic knobs? It drives me insane. But it works good. It's a nice little guy. It has a cover on it that you can open. Has 3 burners. It's only 17 inches wide. It doesn't take up much space. But the plastic. For our refrigerator, we went with a little GE compact fridge. And it's all electric. And you might be saying, why? Why did you do that? Why did you get an RV fridge? Well, we have heard our fair share of horror stories about RV fridges. And once I learned how they work and how much ventilation they need, they even need fans moving behind the counter to cycle air in and out, and if anything gets clogged or it stops, it can back up into the space. And I've heard from several people in the industry that the #1 cause of RV fires is refrigerators. So if you're going to have an RV refrigerator in your space, just be very careful with it and maintain it, clean it, check on it. Just, they're dangerous. And these really just have such a low amperage draw that it just wasn't important to run it on propane or anything. I mean, it barely takes any energy to run. It's fine. So, yeah. So now I'll show you inside our cabinets and drawers. I've added some drawer dividers and it's very exciting. Very exciting stuff. This is my first drawer. This will be all my utensils, and I'm going to have all my spices lined up here. This is a bamboo drawer divider. These are super cool. Another big nice drawer with a divider. And then down here will be all my dinnerware. And I have a little stack thing so I can put all plates and everything down in. This side contains silverware. And I think I'll put a lot of our food on this side of the kitchen. There's another big drawer with a divider. Another big drawer with a divider. One giant cabinet door. Another drawer with a divider. Under the sink here, we actually ended up with quite a bit of space. Our trash can is down there, cleaning products. And we have this little bitty drawer on the side, which is right now serving as the junk drawer. Might stay that way, I don't know. And then this little bitty cabinet here has a paper towel holder inside, and then some of the guts of the trailer back in there. So there's not a lot of space in there, but it'll probably be Riley's dog food cabinet. So that is the tour. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll have more of our space coming soon as we wrap everything up. I'll have individual tours of each little space to give you a lot more detail, and then I'll have an overall just here's a run through of how it looks and not just explain everything to the degree I just did. So yeah, thank you for watching.